Though Steven Universe is a fantastical show, it succeeds because it is primarily grounded in real emotions and real perspectives and real ideals and hopes and dreams and fears and anxieties and all of that. Steven Universe Future is very much about Steven trying to discover who he is. This is more difficult for him because of the trauma he has faced, but to a certain extent, his journey of self-discovery is one that we all must endure. Steven has always put the needs of others before his own, and while this is a strength, it also functions as something of a weakness, inhibiting him from this journey of self-discovery. He needs to figure out who he is beyond what other people think of him, and that is why he leaves. I must admit that this is not something I predicted would happen before I watched the final few episodes of the show, but now that it has happened, I must say that it makes perfect sense. Steven has constantly been telling those around him that he needs space. While it is important to accept the help of those around us who really care about us, there are some things we must figure out on our own. The ending is brilliant because it manages to thread the line between these two approaches. The whole idea of living out on your own and leaving the world behind is an old one, but Steven Universe frames it with modern sensibilities. The whole final episode is reminiscent of parents saying goodbye to their kid before he heads off to college, and that is the right tone to take. Steven is not going to college, but he is also not gone forever. I would be incredibly surprised if he does not return to Beach City at some point in his life. But that does not mean that the ending is not significant. He will never again be the person he used to be, this sweet, naive, smiling kid. He will never be as obsessed with ice cream and innocent fantasies as he was at the start of the show. He's grown up, and that does not have to be a bad thing. For most of the series, he has shunned this change, but he accepts it now. Yes, those around him have changed, but he can change as well. It is completely understandable why the romance of the open road would be appealing to Steven. Throughout the show, everyone has depended on his selflessness. They need him to be this perfect person, this angel of hope, so that he can help them with their problems and help them become better. At least that's how he thinks of it. Everyone's life in this show has changed for the better because of Steven. But as the finale reveals, the person who needs Steven the most is Steven himself. He believes he is a monster because he is unable to be the little cute guy he was early in the show. The kind of person who ignored his own needs because he believed that the needs of those around him were more important. But after Connie rallies the others, convincing them that for once they need to be the ones who are there for Steven, they help him accept that thinking about who you are and what you want is not wrong or immoral. Rather, it's just a part of being human. And the exciting thing is that he does not really know who he is. Not yet. Not completely. He wants to find himself. He deserves that chance. That does not mean he is leaving behind everyone who cared about him, even temporarily. He is already making plans to be with Connie and Lars. He has a therapist now, and that's probably for the best, considering everything he's been through. This is not the rugged individualist idea of trying to completely disassociate from one's past and one's old life and build something new from scratch. Steven has always placed an extraordinary value on his relationships with those around him, and that has not really changed. What has changed is that he has realized that he cannot be the best version of himself for anyone, including himself, if he only bases his image of himself on whether he can fix the problems of those around him. There is a revealing moment near the end of the 18th episode of Steven Universe Future, everything is fine, where Steven says something along the lines of that he's almost happy that he can break things because then he'll have things to fix. This is when he is at the nadir of his anxiety and paranoia and self-doubt. And this is a very telling line that reveals a very dark and sad worldview. Steven does not know who he is when he has to face his own problems instead of fixing the problems of those around him. But because he is going to leave Beach City, he has the opportunity to find out. Part of me does want to see the results of Steven's road trip, but this is not strictly necessary. When Steven goes to Garnet and says he is going to leave, she does not react as demonstrably as he expected. Instead, she assures him that she knows he is going to be okay. While we learn by the end of the episode that her stoic demeanor was just a facade to disguise the heartbreak she and the rest of the Crystal Gems feel, her belief that he is going to be alright is not a facade. Everyone knows Steven is going to be alright. He has been through some very dark times, especially recently, but he has accepted that he can rely on those around him as much as they rely on him. He does not always have to fix their problems, so he can progress toward trying to fix his own. This takes us to the series end credits, which proved to be prescient. Throughout Steven Universe Future, the credits have ended with a car driving away from Beach City. A lot of Steven Universe fans predicted that this means that Steven was going to leave Beach City by the end of the show, and these people turned out to be correct. Good for them. What is most interesting to me, however, is the song that plays over the end credits. It is called Being Human, and I cannot think of a title that more accurately reflects the central ethos of Steven Universe Future. The contrast between Steven's gem half and his human half is very much a struggle between the supernatural struggles he has faced and the everyday, deeply human struggles. For most of us, the supernatural stuff would be a lot more difficult, but Steven is used to that. He has formed his entire identity around that. The human stuff is a lot tougher. He has not had to face the human struggle of trying to figure out who he is and what he really wants with life. It is not a coincidence that he depended on his gem powers to an unhealthy extent as Steven Universe Future progressed. Steven is at this point much more comfortable with being a gem than he is with being a human. But by the end of the show, when he has reset his priorities, he is able to focus on being human, and that means changing. Humanity has been associated with change, as opposed to the largely unchanging gems, ever since the start of the original Steven Universe. The lyrics of the song beg for just a little time, and that is what Steven manages to achieve by the end of this show. For the first time since his journey started, he is able to take some time off. He can relax and introspect and be without the same level of fear and anxiety that has racked him throughout the course of Steven Universe Future. We do not know where his journey will take them, but we do know it is a journey he needs to take. The only person he needs to be responsible for now is himself. For him, this is both a relief and an opportunity. So thank you all for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Donate to my Patreon if you can, and you want to see more videos like this. I really hope you all have loved watching Steven Universe Future as much as I have. It is a truly brilliant and new and creative show. It has never been perfect, but it has been really smart, and I've really enjoyed watching it, and it's kind of sad that it has come to an end. It's been there for us during these difficult times. I hope y'all are planning to rewatch it. I certainly am. Anyway, tune in soon for my next analysis. It will be coming soon. Thank you all again. Adios, comrades.